All right. Welcome everyone to the Kim Master Agency call. Happy Monday to you all. And we have some exciting things to announce today. We are about 30 days or less from conference, and we have some great things planned in Denver. And I want to make sure that everybody on this call can join us because we're going to have some special awards dinner. Also, we have amazing breakout sessions and main stage speakers as well. And we're going to go over that today. So let's get started. So our Kim Master Agency consists of Frank Brennis, Stefan Brennis, Landry Peterson, Bo Hirschfield, and Crew Peterson agencies. And there's different trainings and calls throughout the week. We have Frank Brennis is hosting the business development session, sfgdojo.com, every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. I got some great feedbacks from people that they're learning a lot of great things from this training. So if you're not on this, make sure you plug into it. Elite Training with Sean Kim. This is every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Same thing, sfgdojo.com. We train on different, let's say, sales techniques, different products, and you can learn.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Sean. Also, we have the corporate overview tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8
Mm,
p.m. Eastern. I just posted it on there. I'm sorry you guys didn't have that on there, but it's important that that's in conjunction with the
yeah.
Tuesday training as I invite people to do a top 25 list. Out of that top 25, we're pushing them to the corporate overview. So
Okay.
if you guys can check it right there, it's on. Stefan will not be on tonight. It'll be myself and I believe Kat Kusich will be there too. So we're super fired up
Cool.
that we're doing this every Monday at 5 p.m. If
Yeah.
we get a better turnout, we could possibly do it on another day too, like 2 days a week. And again, it's SFG Dojo, passcode 2025. Super important that we're not only just working the business, we're also growing the business for your future. So super fired up on that, guys. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah. Thanks, Frank. Yeah. So this is can you guys see this? The screen? Yeah. Symmetry Financial Corporate Overview. And yeah, Stefan is actually still in Europe, I believe. He should be coming back soon. So it's very important that you share this opportunity with people because you just never know whose life you're going to change. And that one text message could change everything in their life and your life, of course.
Quick question.
Yes,
Uh,
Charles.
yeah, Frank said he was going to ask about getting a special number for our guests to log on to. So right now they're just going to use the regular dojo and with our passcode 2025.
Yeah, I think for now I haven't had a lot of people tell me to sign up yet, so I haven't, sent it over to Sean. As soon as we get more people, that's one thing we could look at, Sean, is getting another code specifically, so that they're not having to go on our corporate stuff. That's a good thing, Charles, that he brought it up.
Okay. Yeah, sounds great. I mean, I last time, Frank, how many people did we have on the
It was like three.
Yeah, so I mean, as it grows, I think that's a great idea, but make sure you take advantage of this. And this is a live one. A lot of agencies just have a recorded one, and Frank has been generously doing this with Stefan. So do a live corporate overview for agents is it's a game changer. So make sure you plug them in. Okay. All right. And yeah, so we have multiple trainings going throughout the week. So plug into that. And the new agent orientation. So this is for brand new agents who want to learn about the different systems and platforms that Symmetry has in place and how to set up your calendar, how to learn the sales fundamentals, quoting, and real client examples, role play. This is so helpful in the beginning, and I didn't have any of this. And if I had it, it would have been that much easier for me to start this business. And goal setting, and also next step, 90 days game plan. This is 8:30 a.m. Pacific, right before the Kim agency call, every Monday. And then the dojo. I've seen more agents jumping on, and this should be a place where we're trying to keep grow, not just on our personal development, but also on our skill sets for our sales techniques and our leadership techniques. And if you are plugging into this, you'll be able to watch agents live dial. You should be able to also watch agents close business. Marco graciously said that he wants to do a live appointment closing tonight. Marco, what time was it at again? I don't know if you can hear.
6:30 Pacific.
Yes, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. It's a Lighthouse Leads, and he wants to do it on the dojo. So if you want to watch Marco close it on live, you can also jump on the SFG dojo at 6:30 p.m. Yeah, thanks for
Barring a no-show.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then funnel access. So switchboard funnel, this is now available to all the agents. And they're working on some tweaking some things to fix it, but I would say I've been getting some good feedbacks on this. I think Kat, Jessica, a lot of the agents are using this to help their business. And then there's a new lead type, which is call-in economy leads. And this is, I would say, a good budget price point lead. So if you thought maybe call-in leads at $20, $30 is too high for you, maybe you can try these leads out. And it's different price points at different commission level. So if you want to check that out, go to HQ, go to Leads Marketplace, and you'll be able to see what kind of leads are available. And advanced market boot camps. Agents who want to become an SME, subject matter expert, and want to learn about the DFL, IUL Pathfinder, and annuities, and how to become an advanced market agent, you should sign up for the Dallas, Texas, or the Phoenix, Arizona Advanced Market Bootcamp. And it's usually a 3-day event, and this is going to allow you to able to do the FIF resets. And we have more and more agents wanting to learn about this. And we're teaching agents to how to leverage your current appointment through mortgage protection and general life. And if they're interested in other services, you can turn it over to your SME and they'll help you to make more money passively. You just have to refer the client to the FIF agent and they'll take care of it from there. And we heard some examples on the national call that agent received over $30,000 passively just by referring a client to an FIF SME agent. So that could definitely help you make more money in this business. And the SNA Swagback contest, this is still going on. So agents who hit season new agent, meaning 6 apps submitted in the first 6 weeks of getting onboarded with Symmetry, will receive a special swag bag. And this qualification ends August 12th. And conference. There's 29 days left in conference. And if you didn't buy the ticket yet, I highly recommend you to do that now. We want to book the plane tickets because plane tickets are good price right now. I saw as low as $90. And I'm talking about not just one way. I'm talking about round trip from Vegas to Denver. I checked out for another agent out of Washington State, and it's $105 for a round trip. How do you beat that? And plus, remember, you being a business owner and a sole proprietor, you can write those off. This is a business related traveling, so you can write that off. If you were to buy food, if you were to be getting a hotel room, these can be all write-offs. So let's be smart with that and save on some taxes as a 1099 or an LLC. Okay, and Engage Conference is 3-day event. First day is really just checking into your hotel, getting your lanyard, signing up for classes, and there's also Women Plus event, which we're really excited about. Leaders reception, Symmetry Social, and you'll be able to go to the different expo booth. You saw some of the guests that we invited, the directors and vice presidents of the carriers like Mutual of Omaha, Foresters, Americo, etc. So you'll be able to go and shake their hands, get some of their swags. They give you some cool things in the expo booth. And I have some agents who got a bag full of things like hats, water bottles, yeah, sunglasses, even chargers, right? Yeah, it's a lot of fun, guys. And second day is the official Engage main stage. There's a general session, and we're gonna have a guest speaker. His name is Todd Henry. And you don't want to miss out. And they're going to be announcing some amazing products that are proprietary to only Symmetry agents, and you should be there to witness it yourself. Day 3 is all about breakout session and really learning. So if you want to learn about annuities or if you want to learn about different sales techniques, leadership, maybe you wanted to learn about how to dial. They're gonna be doing some live dials at the main event. And then on the second day, by the way, just wanted to remind you, Night Owls, this is where we're going to be doing the Kim Master Agency Awards dinner.
The Kimmies.
Yeah, we're going to call it the Kimmies. And we're going to have food. We're going to be celebrating people, trophies, awards, a lot of fun. And who knows, we might be doing our own little dance and karaoke there. And then on the third day, we are doing the Mile High Mic Drop and Costume Contest. So there is a karaoke contest going on for $1,000 lead credit for the winner, and we're actually recommending Jericho, but they're gonna draw the people to narrow it down to 16 people to actually sing at the conference. Okay, and there's a costume contest going on, so it's gonna be a really full 3 days of excitement. And Engage, you want to make sure that you use our code to get the discount. So if you're in the Landry Peterson or Crew Peterson agency, use the Peterson 1575 on your checkout, and you'll be able to get the $60 discount. It goes from $269 down to, I believe, $199. And then for the Brennis Master Agency, Frank Brennis and Stefan Brennis Agency, you want to use the code Brennis1565. And if you're in the Kim Agency Base Shop, you'll use the Kim1565 as a code. Now we actually have 66 people register for a conference. I saw like Joshua Headley, Ed Calhoun, and one more agent who has signed up for it. So if you're not on this list, make sure you don't miss out and join it. And this is just a Mile High Mic Drop karaoke contest for $1,000 lead credit. And let's talk about newly onboarded agents of the week. This is one of the most exciting things. New agents coming into Symmetry. And number 4, we have Landry Peterson Agency Base Shop, 2 recruits. Anthony Davis, direct to Nayeli Mayer. And Tanya, oh, this is a cool name, Frundlich, direct to Aston Hart. And then in the Crew Peterson Agency, we have 3 recruits. Kenneth Redding, direct to Crew Peterson. Megan Chesser, direct to Crew Peterson, and Morgan Shawley, direct to Crew Peterson. I wonder, Crew, I don't know if you're on the call, if actually the Kenneth Redding is related to Tanner Redding. Yeah, I'm curious. Frank Brennis Agency, we have 3 recruits. Daryl Muhammad, direct to Frank Brennis. Cynthia Allen, direct to Frank Brennis. And Caitlin Williams, direct to Jessica Jackson. And number 1 base shop was actually Sean and Amanda Kim Agency, 4 recruits. Ruchi Barcelona, direct to Jericho Del Rosario. Welcome back, Ruchi. Luz Bills, direct to Eva Colson. Thierry Bisson, direct to Elvira Serrano. And Ricardo Cortez, direct to Nora Fermento. Welcome to the team. And first-time writers of the week, we have Anais Bowen, direct to Crew Peterson, not direct to, but in the Crew Peterson Agency. Justin Diamond in the Landry Peterson Agency. Lene Stewart in the Crew Peterson Agency. Luke Laszlovich in the Frank Brennis Agency. Emma Forey in the Landry Peterson Agency. And Ramon Yarborough in the Crew Peterson Agency, and Angel Hoskins in the Landry Peterson Agency. So congratulations to the first-time writers. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a new writer spin the wheel. All the agents who have submitted their first application gets entered into the spinning wheel, and Amanda is going to be spinning it for us. Go ahead. Oh, that's a good spin. Oh, Emma Forey. I saw her name pop up. Congratulations, Emma, on your first application and winning a $50 lead credit. That will be deposited into your opt in the next hour or so. So you should be able to use that to purchase leads. Congrats. And let's talk about the top 5 agents of the day. So we have Jericho De Rosario, Ian Hollinger, Annabelle Hazelton, Magnus Echendu, and number 1 was Bo Hirschfield, 2196 for July 7th. And July 8th, we have Corey Kinnebrew, Anais Bowen, Jessica Jackson, Bo Hirschfield, and number 1 was Nora Fermento. Congrats. And July 9th, we have Marlon Castaneda, Bo Hirschfield, Kayleen Crawford, and Blake Olson, and Christopher Trella with 1900 APV. Oh, by the way, I know the other person. It was Blake Olson who signed up for conference. So we're going to be excited to see you, Blake. And July 10th, we have Jory Mills, Jason Powers, Christopher Trella, and Bo Hirschfield was the number 1. Great job. July 11th, Kat Kuzik, Luke Lazlovich, Ian Hollinger, Bo Hirschfield, and number 1 was Demi Calibuso. July 12th, we have Kurt Stiffel, Corinthia Peoples, and Gina Bullard was the number 1 agent at 30,456. 3456. That's cool. And July 13th, which was yesterday, it was Emma Forey and 229 APV. She was the only one wrote an app yesterday and on Sunday. So yeah, so she's actually on this spinning wheel as well. That's amazing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna now do the Weekend Warrior Spin the Wheel. This is any agents who submitted at least 1 application between Saturday and Sunday. You get an entry on the spinning wheel. And if you have more than 2 apps, then you get 2 entries. Winner gets a $50 lead credit. So let's go ahead and get it spinning. Okay, let's see who won this one. Respin? Yeah, respin. Okay, let's see. So actually, it is Kurt Stiffel.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kurt Stiffel, you won a $50 lead credit. And I just love Kurt's engagement in the SFG Dojo. He's always in there making dials, engaging with agents. Congratulations to you, Kurt. We'll be
Thank you. Show me the money,
depositing-
Sean Kim.
Yeah, we'll be getting that deposited into your opt today. All right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I like your shirt.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
Also,
Okay, let me just
so
go
this
and
is
mute. Okay. All right. Stefan Brennis agency. We just Stefan is in Europe spending quality time with the family, with the mom. I love seeing the pictures and videos. And yeah, let's go over the numbers real quick. So Stefan Brennis, base shop, we have 1773 with 3 unique writers, 3 apps. Corinthia Peoples, Stefan Brennis, and Cheyenne Williamson. All right. So let me just make sure. There you go. And in the Crew Peterson agency, Crew, are you on the call? Could you go over your agent's numbers, please? I wonder if he's on the call. Yeah, I think I saw him. But let me just go over it for him. 7,878 APV, 5 unique writers, 3 new writers, and 11 applications. So Ian Hollinger, Anais Bowen, Tanner Redding, Lene Stewart, and Ramon Yarborough. Congratulations. And in the Landry Peterson agency, 10,151 APV, 6 unique writers, 3 new writers, 10 applications. And Amari Stevens, 6224, Rebecca Harris, 2,308, Jory Mills, 703, Justin Diamond, 501, Emma Forey, 324, and Angel Hoskins with 90 APV. Congrats. And the Frank Brennest agency, I know Frank's on the call. Frank, would you be able to go over your base shop numbers, please?
Yeah, thanks. All right. So we're gonna start from the bottom and head up. So Kurt Stiffel at 286. Luke Laslovich, thank you. It's his first app, so congratulations on that. It's
Congrats.
$371. And
Ooh,
Corey Kennebrew, 1,763. Charles in charge Malone, 1,907. Jessica Jackson, 4,073. And Kat Kusage, 6,152 for 14,552. Six unique riders, one new rider, and 10 applications. Great job, team.
Yeah, thanks, Frank. Is that the right way to say it, Frank? I've been messing it up. I don't want to mess up Kat's name. Is it Kuzik or Kuzic?
I don't know.
Cusick.
Is
Kuzik?
so we're both wrong.
Cusick, like as if it's spelled with a Q.
Okay, Kuzik. Okay, now I know, Kat. Thanks for letting me know. Finally.
I don't care. It
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Is it, but Zik, right? Zik, not Zich, right? Zik.
Yep.
What do
Okay.
I say? Kat Kuzic?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I
I'm
want to
dyslexic. I'm dyslexic, so
No, it's okay. I thought either you or I was like wrong or right. I wanted to say it the right way.
Kuzik.
Yeah, Cusick, like Q. All right.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, and the Kimacy Base Shop, we had 27,451 APV, 9 unique writers, 15 applications. We have Magnus at Chengdu, Gina Bullard, Nora Fermento, Luz Dapa, Demi Calibuso, Annabelle Hazelton, Jericho de Rosario, Marlene Castaneda, and Ron Bosley. Congratulations to you all. And Bo Hirschfield Agency. I wonder if Bo's on the call. I think Bo is on the call.
Hey, this is month to date,
This
right?
is
For
month to date?
everybody. Yeah. It's
Oh, is
gotta
it
be.
really?
It's okay. Doesn't matter.
Okay,
None-
wow. Because I was about to say, Bo, I was like, that's a crazy week.
What? I don't think this was last week, but this is
Yeah.
this is month to date. But
Yeah, gotcha.
nonetheless,
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, Mark Wimbley is a new writer of mine. Josh Headley on the board with 1,000. Jason Powers, 2,300. Rose Paula Vincent, 26. Caitlin Crawford, 34. Blake Olson, 38. Yeah, both Blake and Josh just bought their conference tickets. So
Nice.
I'm super excited. Christopher Torres at 67 on the month. He's shooting for his 95% on his way.
Nice.
It'll be 3 months in a row of hitting slingshot for Christopher. And then 9 applications for 19,000 for yours truly.
Wow. That's awesome, Bo. I mean, you have some strong hitters coming up, and very
Yeah,
excited to meet them at conference, man.
I was gonna say the same thing. Really excited for everybody to get together
Yeah.
on the what is that Thursday night in conference so we
Yeah.
can all hang out and meet one another. I'm really excited, Sean.
Yeah, awesome. And Bo, are we gonna get to see your babies, or they're gonna be staying home?
No, I'm not bringing 4 months.
Yeah, we got to come out to California to see them.
They'll have to come to us at this point.
Yeah.
But
All right.
they're-
Thanks, Bo. Awesome. All right. And top 10 APV producers. So we have Corey Kennebrew, Kayleen Crawford, Annabelle Hazelton, Magnus Echendu, Jason Powers, Demi Calibuso, Ian Hollinger, Christopher Trella, Nora Fermento, and Bo Hirschfield was the number 1 agent with 13,186. Top app count producers. We have Annabelle Hazelton, Magnus Echendu, Demi Calibuso, Corey Kennebrew with 1 applications, Jason Powers, Christopher Trella with 2 applications, Caitlin Crawford, Ian Hollinger, Nora Fermento with 3 apps, and Bo Hirschfield led the agency with 5 applications. Great job. Top agency builders. So this is the different categories: team leader, key leader, agency owners. And team leaders, we had Ashton Hart, Kat Kuzik, Tanner Redding, and number 1 team leader was Jason Powers. Key leaders, we have Drake Stratton, Jessica Jackson, Annabelle Hazelton, and Jericho de Rosario was the number 1 key leader. And agency owners, we have Stefan Brennis, Landry Peterson, Frank Brennis, Crew Peterson, and the Kim Agency, and the Bo Hirschfield was the number 1 with 23,916 with 14 applications. Top 20 APV producers for July. We have Jericho de Rosario, Corey Kennebrew, Charles Malone, Annabelle Hazleton, Jason Powers, Becca Harris, Demi Calibuso, Rose Paula Vincent, Kayleen Crawford, and Blake Olson. In top 10, Luz Dapat, Jessica Jackson, Laura Fermento, Gina Bullard, Ian Hollinger. In top 5, Magnus Echendu, Kat Kuzik, Amari Stevens, Christopher Trella, and number 1 is Bo Hirschfield with 19,661. Great month so far. All right. Just wanted to do a training today to end the call. Last week, we talked about the debt-free life and what the concept is and how to attract a client to looking into the debt-free life policy. Today, I wanted to do some real examples and roadmap of our actual clients as an example, so you can see how the clients can use this program to get out of debt and build wealth. So let me just go ahead and share this with you. All right. So Debt-Free Life software, it's now under the Quility Pathfinder. Pathfinder, you can use it for the IUL comparison to the client's current 401ks. Also, you can do a debt-free life, which helps the client to eliminate their debt one by one. And this is different from a debt consolidation. So there's a big difference there. Debt consolidation is more about having the third-party collection agency to negotiate a price to pay less than what the client actually owes to these credit companies or loan companies. What we're doing is we're actually paying them one by one. And why is that better? Because our method helps our clients to get a higher credit score and build that credit score. The debt consolidation, that is a negotiation to pay it down, and that is actually a negative effect on your credit score. So even if your debt might get lower or get eliminated, that affects your credit score for a long time. Okay, so this is a better method. Now, here, this is an example of how to use the software. So you put the client's information, you put the mortgage debt information, consumer debt information, and you want to be very detailed. So put the name of the credit card, how much they owe, what the interest rate is, what their minimum monthly payment is required to be paid, and what the client is actually paying on a monthly basis to pay that down as quick as possible. And this will help us calculate how quickly we can get them out of debt. Putting in investments, income source, insurance policies. And once you put all that information, you come to the summary detail page, and you have to run an illustration through Foresters Mutual Trust or Lafayette and attach an illustration that matches the client's current situation. And you'll be able to utilize either Snowball or Avalanche or a custom payoff order. And I mentioned this last week. Snowball means that client pays the smallest loan first, smallest amount of debt first, no matter how big the interest rate is. Just so if the smallest credit card, you pay that off first, and then you go for the next one to pay off the next highest loan balance, and then the next one, and then you go to the highest. Avalanche is paying off the highest interest loan debt first, and then you go down the list. Sometimes Snowball can pay it off faster. Sometimes Avalanche can pay it off faster. So we use both method and see which one will pay off faster for the client. Custom is if a client says, you know what, I just want to do it custom so I can pay it off in the order that I want to, then you can also do that. Once you put all the information, they're going to show you what the redirected amount is into the debt-free life policy. And once you generate an illustration, it looks like this. Debt-free life, eliminate debt, and build wealth. Get out of debt without spending more money each month. And it goes ahead and explains why this method is great. A lot of the times, such as mortgage, car loans. All these things have something called the scheduled interest, and there is something called the real debt. Okay, so there's a difference there. If you take a look at it, somebody says, I owe $280,000 in credit cards and student loans. That is the principal debt, but the scheduled interest debt is another $222,000. So the client end up having over $500,000 in debt that they have to pay back because of the interest over time, right? Mortgage debt, $328,000. This is if the client has a cash to pay it off today. But if the client doesn't pay it off right away and pays over the next 30-year loan, then it's going to have another $291,000 in interest, which makes it another almost 600,000 plus that the client has to pay in total interest and debt together. So even if the client's principal debt is 616,000, with the scheduled interest rate, client will end up paying $1.13 million to the debt companies. Charles Mullen, you have a question?
Yes, I have people that are paying mortgages. They
Yeah.
write off the interest. How can I explain to them that, this is better to pay it off and not have that write-off?
So, yeah. So what you're saying is versus what they're doing, how do you explain that this is better for them than if they were to try to pay off their home faster? Is that what you're asking?
No, if they're paying their mortgage and every year at tax time, they're writing off the interest.
Yeah.
How is this better to pay it off early than to pay, than to have them have that tax write-off at the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, the tax write-off is not forever, Charles. That's one thing. And then secondly, the interest that you're going to be saving over time when you were to utilize the debt-free life is quite a lot more significant. And the client is still going to be paying the minimum mortgage payment through their directly to the loan company already, mortgage company already. So this has really nothing to do with the interest that gets saved is directly the payments that they're directly paying the loan company. So that it really has nothing to do with the debt-free life redirecting money. Where it actually makes a difference is, let's just say the client has a mortgage of $328,000, as you see here, and client is paying the minimum of $1,798, right? This amount is still have to be paid to the mortgage company. But what the debt-free life is really good for is if a client says, hey, I'm making an additional $500 to the principal every month. So if that $500 the client pays directly to Bank of America, let's just say that's the mortgage company, then that $500 extra could help them to pay off their loan in maybe 20 years instead of 30 years of their mortgage, right? But something that people don't understand is that even if they were to able to pay off their home 10 years earlier and completely pay off their home in 20 years, what's left after paying off the home in 20 years? They don't have any mortgage anymore then, and they own the home outright, but there's no other assets or money that is going to help them for their retirement and the other things in the future. So that $500, instead of putting straight into the mortgage, the principal, they can redirect that $500 into debt to the debt-free life policy, and the debt-free life will grow with interest and dividends. And that money will grow, and later the client can use that to pay off the home. And let's just say it took the same amount of 20 years to pay off the home. The client now has a whole life with cash value that is tax-free, that is growing, has living benefits and death benefit on top of paying off the home. So they can do it either way, but our way will give the client a bigger tax-free asset and maybe a lifetime income as well on top of paying off their home. So that's where the value comes in for debt-free life. Okay. And when it comes to the debts, you want to get as much detail as possible. So you want to get the balance to the cents, and you want to get the interest rate to the decimals. So if it's 25.24%, you want to get an exact number of the interest because that's going to determine how quickly we can actually show an accurate illustration and a roadmap for them to become debt free. So this is the current client situation. Client is overpaying on some of the debts, trying to pay this down. If you take a look at it, Barclays card, the minimum is only $36, but client has been paying $1,000 a month trying to pay this down as soon as possible. And I tell the client, hey, if you are using the debt-free life plan, you're not going to be using these credit cards anymore. That's very important, guys. If the client is keep using the credit card while they're paying off the debt, they can never get out of debt. So we're gonna freeze all the usage of the credit cards once you enroll into the debt-free life plan. You're just gonna use your debit card or cash to pay for things. And that actually helps you to develop a good habit of not using the credit card. And once they stop using the credit card, this extra money that they're paying into it actually is going to pay off the debt instead of keep revolving. Because you pay off $1,000, but then you're using another $1,000, $2,000, then now your debt is back up to $2,000. So we have to stop doing that. But what this is showing is if they continue with their current usage and their plan, this client will be completely out of debt in 28 years and 9 months because of the mortgage, right? So this is subsidized student loan, unsubsidized student loan, car loan. These are all different loans that the client has, credit cards. This is how quickly the client will be able to pay off on her own of each debt. Now, it will take 28 years and 9 months to be completely debt free. Would you like to have that paid off faster? And what do you think the client's answer is going to be? Absolutely. Why not? So amount of interest that I was going over earlier is that client's real debt is actually $1.13 million, not $616,000 because client doesn't have the cash to pay this off. So end up paying $1.1 million if she continues with her own plan to pay it off. If we could put any of that scheduled interest back into your pocket and take it away from the banks, would that be important to you? And if they say yes, then you say why? Why is that important to you? Oh, because that means I can, save money on interest rate and I could potentially use that money to use for my retirement. Okay, great. That's exactly why this plan is amazing for you. I'm just going ahead and tying it down to the policy, right? Debt elimination plan for Laura. So using a whole life policy, you'll be 100% debt free in 9 years and 10 months instead of 28 years and 9 months. Even better, you'll become debt free without spending any more money than what currently the client is doing. But let me tell you what that means. If this client was paying only minimum across all their credit cards, all their student loans, all their mortgages, debt-free life will not make sense. If the client is not paying even $1 more than what they need to be putting as a minimum payment, there's no money to be redirected. So that will not be a good fit for debt-free life. Debt-free life is the best for people who are actively wanting to get out of debt and they've been making some extra payments to the principal of their debt, trying to get out of debt. Okay, so that is going to be the best type of clients for this because they're actively redirecting some of the money already, trying to pay off the debt, and we're just facilitating that for them. Okay, so in this scenario, client will be able to pay off the Barclays credit card in month 1. What does that mean? Client still pays all the minimum payments of her credit card, student loans, home loan directly to the loan company, guys. We're not having them just pay debt-free life, all the payments into debt-free life. No, client continuously pays the minimum payments on all their debt directly to the banks and the loan companies. What we're doing is if the client was making extra $200, $300 trying to pay down the credit card, That money we're gonna redirect. Okay. So Barclays card is paid off in 1 month. And what was the minimum monthly payment? $36.39. So we tell the client, hey, Laura, you paid off this Barclays credit card that was 29.99%, and you're paying a minimum of $36.39 of monthly payments. Now you don't have this, you pay this off. We want to snowball this, so let's put this $36.39 and add that to what you're redirecting into the debt-free life and put that extra $36 into debt-free life to pay off the next debt faster. Then next month comes Chase Freedom, pays off. So we take out a tax-free loan against the life insurance policy and take out the money and pay off the Chase Freedom card. The minimum payment was $40, but they don't have to pay this no longer because this is paid off. That $40, we tell the clients to put that back into the debt-free life because we're gonna attack the next debt and pay that off faster. Bank of America gets paid off in third month. That $89 minimum payment the client was paying to the bank, we're going to redirect that into the debt-free life. Military Star, this is the credit card, paid off. So it tells you how quickly we will be able to get the client out of debt for each and every one of the debts. So student loans gets paid off. And every time student loan gets paid off, let's just go ahead and give you an example. Student loan of $262 a month client was paying to the loan company. This is paid off. Then what do? This $262.27 does not have to be paid to the company anymore because it's paid off. So we tell the client to put that $262 back into the debt-free life and make that extra payment to keep snowballing this. And by the time all the student loans are paid off, it'll be 5 years and 11 months into this plan. And then her home will be completely paid off in 9 years and 10 months. And it saves around $292,000 in total interest. That's the debt-free life method. And not only that, one thing I love about the debt-free life is that it's using the infinite banking concept. It's using the becoming your own banker. You might have heard of that phrase, right? How do wealthy people, millionaires and billionaires, utilize a life insurance to grow tax-free wealth and pass down tax-free wealth to their loved ones and then create that generational wealth? So it starts with you. This helps you to pay off your debt. That was your main goal, that you get out of debt in 9 years and 10 months. And in 20 years, if the client continues to pay into this plan, client will have $1.1 million in total asset in this whole life policy. In 30 years, client will have $2.5 million in asset. 40 years, have $3.9 million in asset. So on top of paying off the home, now client has their own bank, own tax-free bank inside of their life insurance policy that they can utilize. But most importantly, think about it this way. If this client was paying off the debt for 28 years and kept doing what she was doing and not do our debt-free life plan, she will eventually get out of debt, okay? But after paying all of this off, does she have a whole life with hundreds of thousands of dollars that she can withdraw tax-free and help them with retirement? No, she does not. And this is a scenario of client living healthy until 28 years and 9 months. What if client developed heart attack, stroke, cancer, something came up, and client no longer cannot pay this off as scheduled because now the money is going to the medical bills? Then all this plan that the client had on her own is not going to work out. But with our debt-free life policy, because we're using a whole life policy as the vehicle for this, it comes with living benefits. Terminal illness, chronic illness, critical illness protection is included. So if a client has a terminal illness, 12 months or less to live, If a client has a chronic illness situation, if they have a long-term care need, they can't do 2 out of 6 activities of daily living. They need to go to a nursing home, or somebody needs to come to their house to take care of them. Or if they had a heart attack, stroke, cancer, or if they had Alzheimer's, dementia, organ failures, this policy will pay out up to $1 million in living benefits in total. If the client, worst case scenario, passed away while trying to get out of debt, the death benefit will pay out tax-free. So the family who's left behind will be able to pay off the debt that the client owed and also able to bury the client and pay off their homes and all that stuff. So this is not just to help them get out of debt, but this is creating your family legacy and a family wealth. Okay. So this is just a way for our clients to utilize the life insurance policy to accomplish their financial needs. Okay. So this is a great policy. And yes, this is definitely more complicated than selling a term policy, but to me, it's worth it to learn it because this can be applied to yourself, your family, or it could be applied to your clients that you're talking to. If you like this plan, but this is just a little overwhelming, then talk to your agency owner and they're going to direct you to an SME and they'll be able to help you to look into getting into something like this. Or if you're talking to your clients through mortgage protection or just general life insurance lead clients, and maybe they're interested in getting out of debt and paying off their home. And a good way for you to identify that is you're talking to a client and they're a mortgage protection client, and you say, "Hey, by the way, what is your mortgage payment?" They're like, "Oh, it's 2,500. Oh, but we pay extra $500 a month to the principal so we can pay off our home in 20 years instead of 30." Then guess what? On top of the mortgage protection, and you're not familiar with the debt-free life plan yet, you say, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to help you with your mortgage protection, which you asked for, but we have some subject matter experts who are really focused on debt-free life, and we help clients to get out of debt without spending any more money. And I believe that this could potentially help you pay off your home even earlier than what you're projecting to pay it off on your own." How does that sound? It'll only take about 15 minutes. Okay, let me refer Frank Brenes, the subject matter expert, to you, and I'm going to set you up an appointment with him and you can discuss this. Or Stefan Brenes or Mel K. We have a bunch of agents who do this now. So this is a way for you to give this client, refer to the next FIF reset agent, and they'll be able to close this business and you get a 40% split without you having to do anything else other than just referring that client to this SME agent. That's the FIF reset. You're focusing on your mortgage protection and general life because that's the bread and butter. This can take a few weeks. It could take a month. But if you're a new agent, you don't have a month to get paid. You have to pay your bills right away, right? So then I'll recommend you to focus on the mortgage protection and general life and hand this over to the subject matter expert, and they're going to help you close that business and you get a passive income of 40% on the deal. Okay? Any questions? We'll open up for some questions. Let's take a...
Sean, I had a question. We're using
Yes.
Foresters for this mostly.
Yeah, Foresters Live Well is a brand new instant decision participating whole life policy. Foresters and Quility Symmetry developed together. It's an instant decision one, and it goes up to $2 million. And at a certain age, I believe after 60, I think 50 to 60, it's $1 million face amount that you can go up to without blood work, urine work, and you get an instant decision. If
Got it.
that doesn't work because client is older or they cannot qualify because they have a little more health issues, then you might be able to go to Foresters Advantage Plus 2, which is a blood work plan. So you have to get the blood work done on that one. Or there's a Mutual Trust in Lafayette who also offers that. But Foresters is better, in my opinion, because of the benefits and the overall dividend growth.
Cool.
Okay, and then a question. So being a whole life, they have to qualify for debt-free life, obviously. Yes, they do. So if a client goes like, Sean, this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. Why wouldn't so many people do it? It's because it's not. First, we're using a life insurance vehicle, so client still has to qualify for it. But one thing great about it is if the client is really using it for debt-free life and getting out of debt, we can actually utilize their spouse if they're healthier. If they have children, we can use their family members to also accomplish this and use their health to uh, set up a whole life and do the debt-free life plan. So even if the client has cancer right now, if the wife is healthy or children is healthy, they can still leverage their family members to accomplish this. Okay. Good question. And Charles, you have a question?
Yes. If you have an older client, say over 60,
Mm-hmm.
they have a 401k, what is the benefit of them transferring that 401k? Remember, they're over 59, so they don't tax on it, but transferring that into this debt-free lifestyle, and they have to wait 7 years before they can draw out any money, or is it just 7 years before they can draw out money on it without having to pay a penalty, but they can take a loan out on it anytime, right?
Yeah, so are you saying that after, I'm just wanting to make sure I understand the question correctly. So after 60, if a client is over 60 and they currently have a 401k, what's the advantage of them to move that money into this?
Right, right.
So, to be honest with you, I would say for it to make sense, there's two ways we can go about it. It doesn't make sense for everyone, Charles. One scenario is there is a way you can max fund an IUL for that and do like a 5 to 7 pay. So let's just say a client has $500,000 in their a 401k right now. That's tax deferred. Eventually, the client is going to have to pay taxes in the future, but tax rate is going to most likely rise. So if you wanted to go ahead and take $100,000 out every year and dump it into a max funded IUL after paying the taxes, then you can grow that, and by the time you want to retire, you can start withdrawing tax-free income, and that amount could be more than what you take out from your 401k because now you don't have taxes involved in that. For the whole life to work, I would say if a client has some debts that they want to remove right away and pay off right away, that would be also a good idea. Or if a client wants to use the money right away, then whole life makes more sense. IUL is better for clients who don't really plan to touch the money in the next 10 years or more. Because of the interest is higher, you're gonna most likely have more money in there than the whole life. Okay. If a client wants to touch the money right away and they want to use the money for infinite banking, then whole participating whole life, such as Foresters, Live Well is a better product since you can take out the money tax-free after 30 days. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe Charles, annuities. If the client wants to just roll over their 401k to an annuity, then they can do that, and that's very easy. The tax deferred 401k gets rolled over into the annuity that's also tax deferred into an IRA, and that one has no tax consequences. It's just a rollover. It's a considered a qualified rollover. Okay.
But if you roll it over like that, can you still borrow on it?
Yeah, so the best way is if they're over 59 and a half, let's just say in your scenario, they're over 60, they no longer have a penalty from the government to do that. And then so if you wanted to, you can take out 10% a year without any penalty from the annuity of the total balance. So they have to wait at least 1 year after they roll it over, and they'll be able to start taking out money 12 months after they start the annuity
But they can only take out 10% a year?
without penalty.
No, no, I'm not talking about taking it out. If they put it into an annuity, if I take all my money, not my money, but I'm just saying if I took all
Yeah.
my money out of my 401k and I threw it into an annuity, tax deferred. That means when I take that money out, I'm going to have to start paying taxes on it,
You
correct?
still have to pay taxes. Yeah, the taxes are the
Right
same.
when right when I take it out of my 401k, I got to pay taxes, or can I get my deferred in the IUL? Can
Yeah,
I?
it's a complete, yeah, we're talking about completely different products, Charles.
Yeah, but
Annuity, yeah, annuity is more about rolling it over, and it's still the same tax status. You still have to pay Uncle Sam taxes that you haven't paid because it was a tax deferred plan.
but I don't have to pay it right away. I only pay it when I take it out.
Yeah, whenever you withdraw it, you pay the taxes.
Just
And
like
you don't
just
pay
like in,
like a capital gains tax. You only pay the income tax based on your income bracket at the time.
oh yeah. So it's the same as a 401k. If I take out money out of my 401k, I have to pay taxes on it. If I take out money out of it, but on the IUL, I get to borrow money on that still.
No, so the if you're talking,
Oh,
but IUL and annuity is completely different. But if we're talking about annuity as an example, then yeah, you'll still have to pay the taxes, like if you have it in a 401k. But the biggest difference though is annuities are fixed index, meaning that once you roll over the money, if the market crashes, you don't lose any money. Whereas if you left it in the 401k and the market crashes, you can lose 20, 30, 40% of your asset in there. So at a certain age, I believe in safeguarding from the market risk because market can be really good, but market can also be really bad. So if your age is over 60, let's just say 70, then you don't have as much time to take that risk because you might not have the time to bounce back. Okay. So yeah, but that could be another conversation on that, Charles.
thank
Hey,
you.
Sean.
Yeah,
Sean, quick question.
yeah,
For the example, the sample that you made on this one, what would be her monthly payment on this one? Thanks.
yeah. So the redirect on this one was a little over $2,000 a month that we found that client was paying directly to the principal, trying to pay it off. So we just collect all what their overpayment was, and then we collected it, and it was a little over $2,000 a month. Okay. And each scenario is a
Okay.
little different, Gladys. If a client is only overpaying 300 among the debts, then that's what we're using. So when we say, do you want to be getting out of debt without paying extra money? That's what they're talking about. We can just do it the same way that they're currently doing, but just redirecting the inefficient dollars back into their policy.
Yeah, so they could actually pay more for the policy if they want to, right?
Yes, if they wanted to put some extra in there to pay off their debt down, absolutely they can.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Good question. All right. I thought that was a good training. And this is just the reason why I'm doing these training now is give you just a little more education. So if you're talking to your clients, it might bring some more opportunities for you. And even if it's not debt-free life, if this piques their interest, then client will be willing to hear what you have. So it could start as a debt-free life conversation and it can lead to a annuity. It could be an IUL. It could be just another policy for their grandchildren, whatever that is. It's just a foot in the door, and you'll be able to really gain the client's interest in these products. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for jumping on the call. And like we said, we have only 20 days, 29 days left for conference. If you haven't bought the ticket, make sure you're there. People who are there to learn, they're the ones that are the most successful. And have a successful week, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.